NVIDIA just did something that should make every business owner paying for an AI voice agent stop mid-sentence. They dropped Nemotron Labs Voice Chat 11B on Hugging Face, 11 billion parameters, free, downloadable. Full-duplex, which means it talks and listens on the same line instead of the walkie-talkie stutter you get from today's phone bots. The window between an NVIDIA release and your competitors noticing is usually 2 weeks. You are in week 1. I am going to walk you through what NVIDIA actually released, the exact math on why your $1,500 a month AI receptionist bill just became optional, which businesses get undercut first, and the one move to make this week. The last part is the one your incumbent vendor really does not want you doing. Stay with me. First, the receipt. The model is called NVIDIA Nemotron Labs Voice Chat 11B. It sits on Hugging Face right now under the NVIDIA account. 11 billion parameters, open weights, right there for download. Not an API, not a preview, not a waitlist. Weights. Full-duplex is the piece that matters. Every AI phone agent your competitors are running today is half-duplex. Caller talks, agent waits, agent talks, caller waits. It feels like a walkie-talkie because it is one. Full-duplex means the model listens and speaks on the same stream, so if a caller cuts in mid-sentence, the AI actually stops and yields, like a person would. Which is the difference between a customer thinking they got through to a human and a customer hanging up in 8 seconds because they can hear the seam. Now before you get excited, I need to flag 2 things. 1. The license. NVIDIA has shipped both permissive and research-only weights in the past. Open the model card and read the license line yourself before you build a business on it. If it says non-commercial, the whole thesis narrows to prototypes and internal tools. 2. I could not fully load the model card during research because Hugging Face was throwing 401s at me. So the exact parameter precision, the latency numbers, whether it ships with voice cloning or one fixed voice, you need to eyeball those on the page today. The file is there. The size is there. The pattern of an NVIDIA open weight drop is consistent enough to plan against. And I want to name something else here. The name matters. Nemotron Labs Voice Chat 11B is going to be the term your competitor Googles in 6 weeks when they realize what happened. It is going to be the term your dev types into a search bar. And every day between now and then, the operator who moved first has a lead. Here is where it stops being a tech story and starts being an invoice story. Because none of this matters until the numbers stack up on your side of the table. I ran the numbers before I sat down to shoot this. 1 inbound phone line, 8 hours a day, 22 working days a month, on OpenAI Realtime at 6 cents a minute, $634 a month per line. 3 lines, which is what a small clinic or a mid-sized dealership actually runs. $1,900 a month, a full-time hire's salary going to a metered API. And 6 cents a minute is the low end. 11 Labs conversational tier runs closer to 15. Some vendors are 3 times that once you add their orchestration layer on top. Now rent an H100 GPU on RunPod or Lambda, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, $1,800 a month, flat, and one H100 handles many concurrent calls, not one. So on 3 lines, you are already at parity with the API. On 5 lines, you are saving thousands a month. On 10, the per minute vendor is charging you a mortgage payment for something a single rented card would eat for breakfast. The per minute meter is a tax on your growth. Every new client you sign, every campaign that spikes call volume, every seasonal peak, you pay for it twice. Once in the marketing to generate the calls, once in the vendor bill to answer them. With fixed hardware, the second bill goes flat. You saturate the card, or you do not. Call volume can double without the invoice budging. It changes nothing on the ledger until you are running so many concurrent calls that you need a second GPU. Most operators will never hit that ceiling, and if you think that pricing gap is a rounding error, sit with it. $18,000 a year on 3 lines, $60,000 a year on 10, enough to pay a hire, or an ad budget, or the booth at a trade show that generated those calls in the first place. If you are getting anything out of this, hit subscribe. I ship one of these a day, breaking down what this week's AI actually costs your business and what to do about it. One video, one decision, no fluff. Back to it. Which brings me to who is losing sleep this week. 4 categories of business are about to feel this. 1. AI receptionist services. The ones charging $500 to $1,500 a month to answer your phones with a bot built on OpenAI Realtime or 11 Labs. Their moat is the model. The model is now free. Their moat just became a puddle. 2. Cold call SDR tools. The AI outbound dialers charging per call or per minute to prospect for you. Same story. Their unit economics are per minute, and their differentiation is voice quality. Voice quality just commoditized. 3. Drive-thru order takers. McDonald's, White Castle, the chains that spent millions building custom AI stacks on managed APIs. A regional operator with 1 dev and 1 rented GPU can now stand up the same class of model. 4. And I think this is the one people are sleeping on. White glove agencies charging $8,000 setup plus $2,000 a month to build custom voice agents. The setup fee vaporizes when a competent dev with a Hugging Face account can spin the same thing up in a week. And I am not speaking hypothetically. AI receptionist services have raised hundreds of millions in venture capital over the last 18 months. Every dollar of that valuation was priced on the assumption the underlying voice model would stay expensive. It just did not. But here is the honest counterweight. Telephony is still hard. The model does not solve Twilio, LiveKit, SIP trunks, call recording, or PCI compliance. Your business software was probably never built with an AI receptionist in mind. The weights are free. The plumbing is still work. So the winner here is not the operator who downloads the model on Friday and fires the vendor on Monday. The winner is the operator who runs a quiet pilot for a week, keeps paying the vendor, and only cuts the cord once the numbers actually hold, which is the exact move I am about to hand you. And I mean literally the 7-day plan I got when I put this exact question to Claude Opus 5 this morning. Open huggingface.co/NVIDIA yourself right now. Look at the top of the model list for Nemotron Labs Voice Chat 11B. Proof on the page, not me telling you. I asked Claude Opus 5 for the one action a business paying $1,500 a month for a voice receptionist should take this week. The answer it gave me, and I agree with it, do nothing to the live stack. Run a 5-day shadow test. Rent one A100 or H100 on RunPod. About $180 for the week. Spin up Nemotron, pipe a copy of last week's real call recordings through it. Offline, no live traffic, no bookings at risk. Score it on 2 metrics only. Did it handle the transfer request without hanging up on the caller? Did it capture the booking detail correctly? 2 questions. Everything else is theatre. If it passes at 80% of what your current stack does, the pilot passes. You then move 1 line, not all 3, to the new stack for another 2 weeks. If it holds, you migrate. If it does not, you paid $180 to find out. Look at the math on that experiment. $180 against a $1,500 a month recurring bill. If the pilot succeeds, you save $18,000 this year. If it fails, you spent less than a week of your current vendor's fee to find out. Either outcome is a win. The window on this is short. 6 weeks from now, every voice AI vendor will have rewritten their pricing page to hide the per-minute fee inside a flat retainer. They will also start dropping in language about proprietary voice quality to muddy the comparison. Right now, this week, the delta is visible on a spreadsheet you can build in 5 minutes. One last thing. If you are the person in your business who has to make the actual call on whether to renew the voice AI contract or self-host, and you want the checklist I put together for this release, everything I just broke down, the prompts I used to score a shadow test, the rental GPU config, the 2-metric scorecard, all of it lives in the Church of SEO Jesus, my free school community, the playbooks and move first workflows from every one of these videos live in there. Free to join, link in the description and pinned comment. Next up on this channel, the local voice model that shipped a week before Nemotron, why NVIDIA might have released this one to bury it, and which of the 2 your dev should actually be testing this weekend. Watch it now.